Hey, y'all. Welcome back to episode 7. Let me introduce ourselves. My name is Jasmine. I'm the social butterfly of the group, and let me introduce you to.
What's up, guys? This is Chantel B. Abstain. Y'all know what it is. Peace in mind, maintenance, all the time. Who's next?
Hey y'all, this is Renee Marshall, aka the Martian, who is ready to go back home because Earth cannot be home. Who's next?
Hey y'all, I'm Brittany. We're the queen of the sea. I'm a mermaid trapped in the human body. And this little one is my child. We won't say her name, she's Blanket. And we are
What?
Diamonds.
Collective.
woo, woo, woo. So just to give you a disclaimer, I am not an unfit parent. The things that we're going to discuss today is not for the child's ear, but we don't care about none of that. This is called real life. We busy. Now, I have a question for you guys today. Do you get lonely sometimes? Do you? All right. Now that we got that out the way, we are on to our very lovely, interesting story called Don't Judge a Book by its cover. Would anybody like to give us a little brief synopsis?
Okay, so basically, without giving too much away, girl meets boy, boy and girl decide to hang out. Things happen or don't happen depending on how you look at it. They try again, but are not successful over and over again. Q and Tim McGraw. If you don't know that reference, you are so too young to be watching this. Just saying.
All right. Well, you guys, I have a couple of questions about this story. First, I would like your one-word response to the whole story. Just one word. If you had to give one word to your reaction after you read the whole story, what was the word that popped in your mind?
Wow.
Okay. Anybody else?
I can't just give one word.
Well, can you try to do it in 3?
Well, she said, wow. So I'm going to say, I'm sitting here looking like this.
Google it. That's what I got. Google it, Moogle it. That's all I got.
I have to go with that. I have to second that.
Moogly.
Yeah.
Disappointment. That's the word. That's the word that I would have went with.
Yeah.
What was the word you said?
She said disappointment.
Disappointment. That's what I said. All righty. So let's go ahead and just dive deep in there. What y'all think about AJ? What?
That poor man. That's all right. To be honest, I don't think he was a bad guy. Like, he seemed really nice. He was a gentleman and stuff. Like, to be honest, I don't think he was a bad guy.
He just, lacking a certain skill set that he could, with some more lessons he could learn from someone else. Who got time for that?
Yeah, I think he is definitely on top of a few of the other dudes we have read about. It's just his performance level. That would have did me in like he was just as bad as the bad guy that we already read about.
Right.
And it's only one element because there was the other element that
Yeah.
very good at, which kind of makes it even more so disappointing.
Yeah.
That he couldn't go all the way.
Yeah.
To be honest, I feel like he might not be as bad. It's just with them, they're just not compatible in that level.
You know, like she said, they probably wasn't compatible. Yeah. And also, too, maybe she wasn't like dominant enough because it seemed like to me that he probably needed somebody to kind of like take charge. He needed a dominatrix type of woman to get them both to the promised land. Yes. So yeah. Next question. Next question was, what would you have done differently if you were JJ?
Probably faked it to make it. I don't know. Fake it till you make it. Oh.
We in 2022. We ain't faking nothing.
Told him. Putting it off at his head. I think personally for myself, I would not have went back. Because once I know, this ain't, and I'm sure she went back because he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great. But you kind of have to put some weight on having some type of sexual compatibility, which, like we've already discussed, there's probably a lack thereof. So I wouldn't have went back. That would have been different.
I probably would have been like, we can meet up, but can you come my crib or can we go out to eat or somewhere? Like, I wouldn't want to be back in his space knowing what just happened a couple of days ago.
Me?
You know something? I'm gonna change my answer, and I may have been just friends with him instead of I try to get into like a relationship, because he did seem like a really nice guy. So maybe it would have been better off if it was friends instead of trying to be other friends. You know what I'm saying?
So I think a little differently. Me and man was great across the, just great, check, except one area. Mm-hmm. And in that area, you can teach people if you're a good teacher and if he's a good student. So I probably would have went that route. And if he couldn't help after that, we would just been doomed. Or we'd have to have an open relationship. We ain't down for that. But I'm just saying. There got to be some type of something.
I can definitely see why JJ went back, just to see possibly if, that second time could be a whole 360, because, that does happen sometimes. So, yeah.
So my question would be, you kind of answered a little bit. Why do you think she kept going back?
Because he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
I think that's really the base of all of it is he's a very, very nice guy. Yeah. And I feel like at that age, you're not thinking, teach him.
Yeah.
I think at my age now, I'd be like, teach him. Because that's one aspect that you can actually improve on. He only knows how to satisfy his last partner.
Yeah.
That's good.
People do need to put that in perspective.
That's true.
They don't know how to satisfy you. But I also learned that when I got older. So that's teaching.
And also, JJ seems like she's a super freak. So I just assumed that it probably would have been a little hard to satisfy her anyways compared to the last story we read about JJ. Yeah. And I think if he won't swinging across, the ceiling or anything like that, I think she would have been bored anyways. Now she did say he gave good.
Yeah.
But, I feel like she's a little more, he's probably like one of them guys who, just like he seems like he likes to make love. She seems like she wants a roughneck to pull her hair and throw it to the ground and stop her a couple times. That's what and so of course she's gonna be bored. Not trying to be like, that, but if you have, if you have somebody who's laid back who wanna, listen to some Keith Sweat or some Babyface or something like that, they're not gonna be. And she wants to slap him in my face, shove it down. That's the vibe that KJ give off. That's the vibe.
But that goes back to the compatibility because in my opinion, she is almost like a dominatrix who needs somebody who can put her down.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense.
Get control, who can take control, and he's just not one of those guys because he's too laid back.
Yeah. Well, I think they're both submissive a little bit. It seemed like they're both kind of submissive. Yeah. The reason why I say that is because the fact that she kept going back, and you know what I'm saying, because the dominatrix would have then taught him, you know what I'm saying, and kind of as long as they're both dominant. Because sometimes that don't work neither.
Yeah, like how they met too, like could also play a part in, like who they really are as a person. Since he was so open to come back and be like, "Can I get your number?"
Yeah, he was nice. He was really nice. I liked him. So another question I had:
is your baby snoring?
Yeah, you can hear her. Let me see that. All right. So hold on. I was thinking when I was reading this about JJ's character. Does she seem freakier compared to the other women to y'all? Does she seem like she's just the type to just like go out the box, like have sex at a circus or something? That's how
I do not think so at all. I mean, I feel like everybody may explore here and there, but I don't think she's like a super freak.
I think she's more open to things.
Yeah, she's exploring.
Ladies are. It doesn't necessarily make you anything other than just an open person. You have an open.
She open.
More confident in her openness, which
and I appreciate that about JJ, because like she's the one I feel like we will be able to explore a different side of sexuality with her. Like we'll be going to sex clubs and sex parties with her character. I think so.
I definitely see that.
Yep. That was my little off the wall question. Next, thoughts about AJ compared to TK. Like, who would you choose?
I would choose AJ all the way. Yeah. You can teach a person these tricks. You can't deal with the devil. I'm just saying.
TK needs his butt kicked. That's what he needs.
Yeah.
AJ is genuinely a nice guy who just happens to not have one part of the skill set that's not as sharp as the rest.
But you know what I appreciate about her though? She didn't never put blame on him. She just said they might not have been compatible.
Yeah,
right.
And sometimes it's kind of what it is. Sometimes you're just not compatible because, like I said, he seemed like he's like, I make love to you. And she's like, my neck, my back.
He's very boys to men, and she's very
slap it in her face type person.
Yeah.
So
very Trina-ish.
Where does AJ stand? I said stand. Where does AJ like compared to all the men from the last 6 stories we read? Where would y'all fit him in at?
Personality wise, I'll say he's pretty at the top. As far as the festivities that they get into during the night hours, I think he's pretty low.
But he is above.
Oh, but
he's probably middle because he's definitely above some of these suckers that we've read. So I would say, even with that, even missing that skill, because some don't even have either skill.
Right.
So there's that as well.
Very valid point. Yes.
I would rate him. I think he's like the best guy we've seen so far.
Yeah.
I rate him as
I agree with that.
I rate him. I think he's been the best person we have seen thus far. Yeah. And also too, it wasn't alcohol involved. I don't remember seeing alcohol.
Nope.
So
I don't remember seeing that either. I said I don't remember seeing that either. Like that, I feel like this is the first story it had no type of alcohol, or it was literally just a meet cute sort of thing that just didn't work out then.
Right.
Yeah.
And also too, I like how descriptive JJ is. This woman be telling you what she got on, all the way to her drawers. I said, Lord, do we need to know you got on tie-dye drawers? Some things should remain a secret. I didn't know they made tie-dye drawers. Did y'all know that?
No. Never.
I didn't know that. I said, Lord, I feel like you would get a yeast infection. Oh, I probably shouldn't say that. But I like, I don't know, if tie-dye your coochie just don't work.
Yeah.
I don't think I can say anything. But yeah, I do appreciate her writing. All righty. So next, any other like last minute thoughts, any questions y'all had, anything I wanted to bring up, any quotes, that's where I'm getting at. Any quotes, parts, segments that y'all want to bring up that y'all would like to discuss?
It says,
I have,
well, Miss JJ, until we meet again. He playfully bowed and kissed my hand. And she over there like, what a gentleman. Like, I would have probably fell to my knees by then. Like, I'm sure that's what she was thinking. And she was just like, and then again, when he came back and was like, he didn't come back walking slow. Like, he jogged back and like making sure he wasn't about to miss her type stuff. It was like, I hope this is not too, up front, but can I get your number?
Right.
And I'm glad that she was open to being like, sure, why not? College days.
He's a sweet guy.
Yeah.
I like him.
My part is definitely when she said, I was bored. There is no other word to describe it. I suggested different positions, but nothing was working. The next thing I knew, I said, how about we just cuddle in the middle of sex? Woo!
And to add on to that part, now I'm about to say, sorry.
My bad. I was just thinking being him in that moment.
Yeah.
When she said, let's just cuddle.
I think my favorite part was when the next morning when she woke up and she ate breakfast with him and she was like, there was and she felt like it was an elephant in the room.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was pretty funny. Definitely, when they had this whole entire dinner, I know this whole entire breakfast, even his man and he drove home and it was like awkward silence. And then he was like, I had a really good time last night. And I hope we'll do it again sometime. And she's like hella confused, like, did we not have the same night?
Yeah.
I don't know. I have mixed feelings about that.
You said what?
I said I mixed feelings about that because I don't think he was referring to the disaster. I think he was referring to me reading it. It seemed like he wasn't referring to that. It seemed like he was like trying to skip over that. It seemed like he was referring to like let's hang out, let's have you know what I'm saying? That's what it seemed like to me. Because
Yeah.
I don't think no guy would want to even think or bring up the fact that this woman just told me to stop. Not only did she tell me to stop and let's cuddle, we
Right.
could cuddle naked. We had to put our clothes back on to
Right.
cuddle. So, so he wouldn't even thought or wouldn't even want to bring that up. So probably he was like, you know what, you like cool. Let's chill again. Let's get it, whatever.
Yeah.
But if I was him, I wouldn't even want to do that again because it's like, like what would she say to her friends? She brought her friend over here. Ain't no telling what she done went back and told this woman.
But at the same time, he brought his friend too. So
yeah. But, and then too,
they met the park. It says they met the park.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is he was introduced to her friend. That's all I was saying. I'm gonna say she was there. I mean, that would be awkward. But I'm saying that the friend is being introduced, so ain't no telling what she done went back and told the friend. And I'm very curious to see how all that happened in his point of view.
Yeah.
Was he like, bruh, this chick is not, you know what I'm saying? Or I tried my best moves and they not working, or yeah, this ain't, you know what I'm saying? I was just very curious how that transpired. Yeah. But to each his own. We're not gonna talk too much because we don't want to give y'all too much of the story. If you haven't read it, go read it on our Tumblr. If I'm correct, yes. Go read it on Tumblr. It's a great story. If you haven't read the other 6, go and read those as well. Then make your way back to the YouTube and watch these beautiful faces. So next we will be getting into our plug in time. So who's gonna plug something on in for us? Plug us on in.
Well, of course, I had to plug us in. Black Diamonds Collective. We have a blog that you should really look at on Tumblr. Our podcast is on Anchor, which has all our platforms on there. So if you don't want to see our lovely faces, then you can see us on Spotify and other things like that. And of course, you got to check us out and subscribe, guys. Subscribe. And if you want to see what promos and stuff, then check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
It's what's up. All righty, you guys. Y'all ready for the second segment?
Let's go.
So we have named this Let's Get Personal, where there will be random questions either as, you know what, y'all need to comment below and ask us random questions and things like that. But anyways, I digress. Anyways, just random questions, just to get to know us a little better, get our thoughts, see us raw, see us transparent. That's just kind of like how we get in. So the question for tonight is, if you could redo any moment in your life, what moment and why? Listeners, I'm not speaking once.
I'll have to say for me, I probably would have chose to go immediately to dorm life, college, instead of staying home and commuting type thing, just to have more experience with the college life and being able to, spend more time with the circle I didn't know I was going to meet. Shout out to y'all. And, just being able to, just have that experience. And, by the time I got there, I was focused, I was ready, but, them parties came in, study time came in. So it was just a whole lot of fun. So I just wish I would have experienced it more. So that way I might have would have been more focused. I would have took it more serious in the beginning versus the end instead of all together. Who next?
I don't think I would change anything. There are some things I would like to change, but each thing, when I think about saying I would change it, I realize that there's something that I learned, so it can't be changed, because I wouldn't be the person that I am today without the bad and the ugly. It just needed to happen, or even the embarrassing happen. Everything is a lesson. Yeah, I mean, I can't. Every time I try to think of something, I'm just like, nah, with everything, every piece,
Like I
every
need
broken.
that so I can become who I am today. Like I need
Exactly.
that. I can't
Like
change
my personality was built
on that.
off of that stuff. My maturity was built off of that. So if I take anything away, it could just mess everything up.
Right.
I guess that's why.
But I will say, violence is not the answer. I would like to do this disclaimer before I start this speech. Okay, so violence is not the answer. I am not promoting violence. Do not put that on me, because I will come find you. I'm not going to do anything to you, because again, violence is not the answer. It's love. But I will lovingly find you. Don't do that. But I will say, you know what? When I did Apollo that one year, and that one group of people decided they were going to boo just because they didn't have anybody to boo because everybody was good.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like instead of running off stage like I did, I would have ran and jumped off stage into that circle and started swinging.
Ooh-wee.
Good thing.
Oh man.
God's still working on me. I'm sorry.
Amen.
Amen.
Sorry.
God is good, amen.
Yes.
God is good.
Yes. He's very good, because he kept me near the cross that day.
Redo. And the only reason I say redo is because when I was pregnant with Riley, I had to go to all my hospital visits and ultrasounds and all that stuff by myself. So I didn't have like my family there.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like a rough pregnancy. So it was like a lot to be taken on by myself. But I mean, she came out great. But it would have been nice though to have the whole family there. Like they was there for Mackenzie. You know, it was just only us two, me and Dominique. So it was kind of rough during COVID. But then, like, after I had her, the restrictions was kind of like lifted. So other people was able to break. And I was like, nah.
Yeah.
They need to go through this by themselves like I did. But, you know, second kid, I mean, it is what it is. But that. And I would go back and relive my college life. Do that the way it was. It was great.
That's why I said redo me going to college dorm life sooner, so I can have that more.
Yeah.
Fun, like being able to be in a different space, different environment.
Yeah. Like as I said, I wouldn't I wouldn't redo it.
Yeah.
College life, I'll go relive it.
Yeah, I'll redo my first. I relive.
Yeah, I'll go relive it again and get it popping. Because college is fun. I'm just saying. I had great times. I was an alkie. No, I'm joking. I was drinking a lot though. You know.
Definitely.
Drinking a lot. Now I don't drink as much. And I thank my college life for that. Because like my liver wouldn't survive if I drank like I was drinking then. Like I was drinking like Thursday through Monday. You can't judge me. You go judge yourself. God has worked on me. I have been delivered. I've been delivered. What do you say?
Oh my God.
I don't like this no more.
Right?
was on there. I was like, I don't like dance no more. I've been delivered.
I know what you're talking about.
Andre, yep.
He popped up in my mind, but not his name.
That's him. I've been delivered. Ironically, he's on Bad Boys, whatever that show is.
That was Club.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Caldwell.
That's him.
That's his name.
Andre Caldwell.
What? Going back a moment, I feel like I shouldn't stop dancing when I did because like I got so out of shape. And I used to be fit. I used to work out and well, not like go to the gym workout, but I used to work out a lot. Like I used to focus on my body. Now I gained a lot. I didn't gain a lot of weight, but I gained more weight than I anticipated. Definitely in my stomach area. So.
I agree with you on that. Being in color guard things, the best experiences ever in my life. So being able, and then once leaving, the dorm life, campus life, and going back to not really doing much. I still got my flags in there. Nope, you can't get them back. Anyways, I do go in there and grab my flag a few times. That is something that I wouldn't change. So basically, yeah, I wouldn't. There's a lot of things in my life that we would like to being able to redo, but I think I'm reliving a whole lot. So guys,
I asked this question because I just think about stuff and I feel the way Tashana feels, is that it just reminds us when you go back and you think you oh, I would change. No, I wouldn't because I learned something or it just makes you appreciate how far you've come. It makes you realize where you've come from, the journey you've been on. You know what I'm saying? Of course you didn't have all good times, but also too, you didn't have all bad times. And a lot of times we have more good times than bad. You know what I'm saying? So it's just appreciation of life, of our struggle, of who we are, being around y'all for a long time, you see people around you grow, it's always oh my gosh, I'm so proud, you know what I'm saying? Even the little stuff, you know what I'm saying? You appreciate the people who you've grown with, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't growing by myself, me and Bianca come from babies, and then me and Tashana come from high school, and then you come along, Jazz, and then we all come from college, and I look at us, it's a growth. So especially our times that we had together as younger, of course I would relive those because we had
just going deeper even more, even when I think about trying to change my personality when I was younger, if I could be where I am mentally now, then I'm pretty sure my things would be a lot different. Yeah. But at the same time, it's I got the mindset because things happened how it did. So then it's you kind of undo everything.
Yeah.
Taking it back.
Mm-hmm. But not to be honest, I wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah, that's what I said. I wouldn't change nothing.
I wouldn't change
the whole COVID thing with my baby.
Besides the whole stop dancing thing, that's the only thing I would change. But other than that, I wouldn't change a thing.
You said what?
I said besides the whole dancing when I stopped.
Yeah.
Other than that, I wouldn't change a daggone thing because look, back then I was a tough kid. Okay, I ain't dealt with no crap.
All right.
I punch first and ask questions later.
The people that I liked in the past, I can never, ever see myself liking them now. I mean, seriously, it's now I realize you was a little stupid. And I mean, that may be extreme to other people, but in my eyes, rose-colored glasses. And I'm not saying I would necessarily change that, but these are things that I think about changing every now and again. And then I'm well, I can't change it because I'm undoing some part of myself that I I appreciate now. But some of the people I chose, I mean, even now I'm just like, Tashana, I mean, what's wrong? Like, did your mom drop you?
Sure.
And I'm like, did she drop me a couple of times? Because I mean, I don't understand. I will never understand. Never. So I choose to kind of forget. And it does work.
I felt that about so many goods. I go back and look at
Some of
people.
y'all.
I honestly think that's worth a whole nother podcast by itself. That alone.
Oh, people used to date.
I should have told a lot of people off. Maybe that would have helped. But I don't think that would have been a good idea. In hindsight, I would have been fighting a lot.
Definitely.
But
Definitely would have been fighting a lot. Definitely fighting a lot.
But we have been delivered. We have been delivered.
None of that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's like just reflecting, you know, it's just we wouldn't go back and like, you know, change nothing like significant. Like little stuff maybe. You know, I probably would tell myself the lottery numbers. I went back and saw myself like, girl.
Yes. Definitely the lottery.
Numbers. Make sure you play these numbers, girl.
For real.
Bet on this horse.
But get you some money.
All right. Hold on to that refund check. Hold on to it. That's not free money. They will come back and hunt you down for that money.
Yes.
Even though they was already giving it to her, like,
Yeah, free money.
right. Like, all right.
Time's over.
But yeah, I think that was a good discussion, you guys. Thank you very much for being transparent, being raw, being honest. I know this is like a lot.
Yeah.
Of, you know, emotions and stuff. But we did a good job. And that's we have some good stuff coming up for y'all next week. We will be back with what's the story, Veronica?
Dipping and dodging. I am very intrigued about this story.
Okay.
Because I feel like it's about to go down and it's going to be hilarious.
Can't wait.
Lottie
story.
Lottie found these out of the woodworks.
I'm telling you, this chick right here.
But JJ is a super thick at the group. But anyways, we're gonna close on that note and say thank you guys for being here for another episode 7 of Don't Judge a Book by its cover. Go read it on Tumblr. Come back, you know, also to #follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We don't want to listen to all this here. Go Spotify, all that good stuff. And thank you guys. Deuces. We out.
See ya.
All this pressure keep making diamonds.